Peace, peace. Abarigani, Islam, Salam, Hetepu, Rahubat, Jinolako Ninani, Chief Noble Bandele, Elamim, back again for another video. And I know it's been too long. It's been a long time that I've done a video, okay? I'm sorry for my long time, not being able to do a video, but there's been circumstances, okay? But I'm here today and we're going to get into a new video. This video is basically going to be dealing with how to get a social security number without a birth certificate, okay? Because we know that some people, even though they want to get out of the system, some people don't want a birth certificate. As religious people, we don't have to get one, but sometimes we need a social security number in order to do things like, for example, to get insurance through what they call the Affordable Care Act. You're going to need a social security number, okay? So we're going to get into that. But before we get into any of this video, please subscribe and please like this video so that I can, continue to, be monetized. And that definitely helps. If you would like to donate, we'll have the information for you to donate to the temple. If you like any of these videos and you appreciate the work that's being done, please donate. Okay. So with that being said, let's look at this. Check out also the books that I have created on various subjects. Okay. So we got Moorish treaties 1 and 2. We also got the Guide to a Religious Marriage. And my latest book is The Canaanite Connection, True Origins of Abrahamic Religion. Very good book. It's got a lot of good information in here, a lot of things that are not necessarily discussed, but I'm showing you that the Canaanites are the origin of a lot of the stuff that we deal with today. And being Moors, we're connected to Canaanites. So, check it out. And also, like I said, check out the Guide to a Religious Marriage. They show you how to have a legitimate marriage without having to go to the state, because as religious people, we don't go to the state to do these things. Just like we don't go to the state for the birth certificate, okay? Which is what we're about to get into. So, with that being said, um, I want to get into the video dealing with the proof, okay? So let's look at this. I'm gonna pull this up, and we're gonna get into this. Let's look at the birth certificate, why you don't need one, okay? The proof of your citizenship, born in the United States. Okay, now I know when we talking about jurisdiction, we don't want to be dealing with the United States per se, but what we're looking at is how can you show that you can get a social security number? If first of all, you realize if you're getting a social security number, they got to recognize you. They're going to look at you as a U.S. or an American citizen. Okay. So that means basically being that you were born within the confines of one of the 50 states. Okay. So how do you get one? Now it says that if you're born in the United States and have no birth certificate, learn how to get documentation to prove you're a U.S. citizen. So what we're doing is we're looking at the letter of no record. Why is that important? Because a lot of times, from my own experience dealing with people, sometimes they don't want to take just the information that you have. They don't want to take the religious documentation you have without anything else. A lot of times they don't believe that you don't have a birth certificate, because we know most of the time if you had a birth in the hospital, okay, especially if you had a birth in the hospital, they're going to create a birth certificate without your permission. They're going to create a birth certificate with the mother's last name, okay? So just remember that. So what are they saying? Contact the Vital Records Office of your birth state. So when you're looking for a letter of no record, you have to go to the Vital Statistics or wherever they do birth certificates in your state or county, okay? You go to the county to where they do birth certificates and you ask them for a letter of no record, okay? If you cannot find your birth record, they will issue you a letter of no record, okay? So which includes the name, your name, the name of the child, the date of birth for the child. Okay, now they say the year searched by the vital statistics to find the birth record. So basically, they'll they'll have on this letter the child's name and the child's date of birth, and they'll say that they have searched, they have searched hard, far and wide, and they cannot find record. So they'll say confirmation that you were unable to find a birth certificate on file. So when you get a letter from the vital statistics or wherever they do birth certificates saying that this child has no record of a birth certificate, that will suffice, okay, along with your documentation. That will prove to them that they don't have to look for a birth certificate. The reason why I say that is because let's say you go to the Social Security Department. They are under the assumption that you probably have one. Because you could be, lying, or you're not giving them full information. So sometimes they will not just take your religious documents. Like for example, these documents here, these secondary evidence may not be enough. Okay, so if you got a hospital birth certificate or a hospital record, that's what you need. You need a baptism record, a baptism certificate. That baptism certificate is really what they're saying is a religious certificate, or census records, or early school records. So if you have all four of these or any of these, okay, those can be used as evidence for the Social Security Department. When you read in the Social Security Department manual, or you look at what they call the POMS, they'll have that. Okay, so with that being said, you'll need as much evidence as you can. So you may need to try to get all four or at least three of these. A lot of times we don't do the census record, but if you can get three of these, that would be very, very substantial to prove your claim. Okay. So with these plus a letter of no record, you will be able to get a Social Security number without the birth certificate. Okay. So let's look at maybe a sample of what one looks like. Okay. When you look at let's go to it. Let's see. If you look at this as a record. Now, when you go get a letter of no record, this is a sample of one. Each county got their own version. Okay. So this is just one version I found. They'll ask you certain questions. Is this person on the birth record alive? Yes. Has the person on the birth record been adopted? No. Is the customer, the child name on the birth certificate, their relative or their legal guardian? Yes. Has there been any legal name change? You wanna check no in most cases, because you don't want to necessarily give the name that would be on the record with the hospital. Okay. So with that being said, it'll say, does this person have siblings in Ohio? You may not want to label the siblings if they're on record with having a birth certificate, because anything that would link them back to a birth certificate is possible. It says, what this person born at home? Now, if you had a home birth, a lot of times you definitely can get away with this even better because you don't have record. It is best to have a doula, or somebody that is not necessarily got to be connected to the hospital or connected to the system. It is not against the law for you to have a doula or somebody who's not registered with the state. Understand, anytime you got anybody registered with the state, they may be compelled to work for the state. They are agents of the state, okay? Has this person ever had a copy of their birth certificate? You want to put no. If that's, have local vital statistic records been searched? No, okay? So this right here is for them, but this is a sample. A lot of times they're going to ask for the name. Now I want to say this: the mother's name, if they were born in a hospital and if they created a birth certificate without your permission, it's going to have baby boy or baby girl, and it's going to have the last name of the mother. So when you get a letter of no record, you do not necessarily want to give them the name that's going to be on the birth certificate. So if your name is Regina Hall or Regina King or whatever, right? Jane Doe, you do not want to put Jane Doe on the letter of no record. You want to use your Moorish name, okay? The name that's not necessarily on record with that, okay? So you want to do that. So let's look at this. You have the birth certificate for the SSA. Okay, now we're going to look at that. Okay, we're going to look at that, and so let's look at this. Okay, it's saying no birth certificate for the SSA, not necessarily a problem. So just if you don't have a birth certificate and you're trying to go to the Social Security, these are added argument to why you can use other evidence. Now it says, is it possible to qualify for benefits from the SSA or like the SSI without birth certificate? In a word, yes. The SSA has two types of evidence, right? That evidence, it will accept to establish birth. Okay, so you have other types of evidence that can be accepted for birth. Now it says the preferred evidence and other evidence. Okay, so these are the two. The preferred evidence is they're talking about, a birth certificate, okay, or a hospital record. That's preferred. But you got other evidence. Other evidence includes original family Bible or family record. Now I want you to understand, we've talked about religion. The original family Bible. Bible is a religious instrument. So it can be the Quran or your religious book. If you put your record in your religious book or family record, but this also deals with religious documents. So if we're talking about a religious certificate of live birth, we're talking about a religious affidavit of live birth, things that you've gotten from your religious institution, that is included. So they also talk about school records. So if you've got school records of your child, census records, or a statement by the physician or midwife or the doula, okay, that was present at your birth, the insurance policies, or even if you have a marriage record, okay, passport, employment record, delayed birth certificate, or child's birth certificate, okay. These are all the things you can use. So I'm saying that when they tell you that, no, we can't take it, you have to show them this. You have to show them 20 CFR 404.716. So let's look at that that code, okay? Let's look at CFR, okay? And basically CFR is going to show you the same thing pretty much as what we're saying, but I want to show you in record so you can use this, okay? So when you look at 404717. It says the type of evidence of age to be given. Okay, it says preferred evidence, which we talked about. Religious record. Okay, it says right here, or a religious record which shows your date of birth and was recorded before age 5. So when you show a religious affidavit of live birth, when you show them the religious certificate of live birth, that is your religious record. Okay, so that's the preferred evidence. Other evidence of age, if you cannot provide that, you got your family Bible, you got your family record, you got school records. So what I'm saying to you is, it is best that you have a religious record of these things and other evidence. So you would show them your Bible, your religious text with your record, family record, school record. Okay, these are other things you can use. If you have, let's just say, a passport. So if you may need a letter of no record to get a passport. So let's say you get a passport. Like if you watch my old videos talk about a passport. Okay, so if you look at getting a passport for a child, and if you got one, if you use a letter of no record for the birth certificate for the passport as well, that same letter of no record can be used if you had to get a social security number. So if you have that plus a passport, there's no way they're going to deny you. Okay, I'm just letting you know that. Okay, so do not allow Social Security to tell you no. Okay, so basically, these are the essential things that can help you if you're having problems with Social Security, or even perhaps having problems with getting a passport. Um, the letter of no record would be very important. Okay, so got any questions? Please, leave a comment. We can get back to you. You can give us a call. We'll leave our contact information. Like I said, please like and share this video with other people. And I also hope that this will have some kind of supplement to helping you get what you need. Okay. So until then, catch with you on the next one. All right. Tutan Nana.